So I thought I'd try to do one of these videos with a bit of a painting here and something really simple. So my friend recently bought the Aliens game here on the Glory Stay in the Core, and I was given the great honor to paint up a couple of these aliens here. So I'm just going to use super easy dry brush techniques, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 colors total or something like that. So you will get an alien ready and look decent on the actual distance you play the game on in about 5 minutes. So yeah, hope that you will enjoy this one, and feel free to comment, like and subscribe. Take care. Abbadon black here, just a scruffy old brush. Getting this all over the place, just move the paint around, I guess. Not to make it clog anywhere. And yeah, be back soon. Alright, so he's now been entirely primed. Apply my first dry brush here, which is the Fang, with a old scruffy brush here, and just take a decent amount here and wipe it off in the towel until almost no paint is left on the brush. I'm not going to be super gentle with this first one though, so might keep a fair amount. Alright, so now I've applied the first layer here, and yeah, it's just a slight tone, I guess. So yeah, the first applying to the dry brush is completed. Good job. Now I'm going to move on with my second dry brush, which is russ gray. So quite a bit lighter than the Fang. As you can see, don't want to keep too much of this paint, especially like the raised areas here. I'll go a bit heavier on like the knees, some central points. Rib cage here is kind of something that you want to stand out as well. And these tentacles, whatever is coming out from his back, and the top of the tail here. Right, so that's how he looks now, with the second dry brush complete. And I'm going to do one final dry brush with wraithbone. And here I really don't want too much paint. I'm also just going to focus on a select few places on the model. So, like his face there, I want to have some more focus on that part. That line going across the side of his head. Raised areas of his shoulder there. That just the tip of those bony protrusions in his back, as well as the top part of the scale of the tail thing here, and along the sides, the most protruding part. These arm shield things, and at the tip of his fingers, middle of his rib cage there, some extra, maybe the knee joint there as well, and the tip of his toes, and the tip of that bony protrusion from the back of his leg there as well. Okay, that looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Moving on. So next part is actually continuing with wraithbone, but only pick out those little feathered areas, knee joint here. You don't need to kind of completely fill it, just go lightly. It's okay if the recesses stay darker here. Yeah, so I'm just going to go all around the model with all those details. Now I'm gonna go over the base with leadbelcher. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm gonna hit the tail up. I've actually painted the tail as well with wraithbone, and I'm gonna hit it up with skeleton hoard. Just make sure to move the paint around so it doesn't clog up. Don't have too much paint on your brush as well. If you want, you can just touch up with skeleton hoard on those bony protrusions in the carapace. I think we can afford a bit more dry brush on the edges with the wraithbone. Right, so next up we're gonna move on to the base and shade it and then highlight it a bit. Alright, so we are back with the base here and some nuln oil to just go all over this metal floor here. Might add in some agrax to make it seem a bit aged and rusty places, or I might just leave it at this, I'm not sure. Agrax here as well, just to give it some variation. Well, here it is, all painted up. It's certainly nothing fancy, but it will certainly be also tabletop ready to use in the game. So very, very easy paint scheme. So as a final, but pretty important note, I also add a drakenhof nightshade to the model once completed with a dry brush. And this kind of tones down the scruffiness of the dry brush a bit, and I think it really ties the model together. And after that I just added some blood for the blood god, but that's all down to personal preference. You can totally skip that part if you want. So there we have it. About 10 paints needed for this. Very simple techniques to use here. So without further ado, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. So take care.